What if I told you that in the next 25 minutes, you could learn strategies that might add years to your life and completely change your brain health forever? Every 40 seconds, someone has a stroke. But here's what most people don't know. The World Health Organization confirms that up to 80% of strokes are completely preventable through natural lifestyle changes. Today, I'm sharing 10 scientifically proven methods that could dramatically slash your stroke risk starting right now. I'll be completely transparent with you. When I first started researching stroke prevention, I was skeptical about natural approaches, but then I discovered something that changed everything. The most powerful stroke prevention tools aren't found in a pharmacy or hospital. They're simple, natural strategies backed by decades of rigorous scientific research involving hundreds of thousands of people. Let's start with understanding our enemy. A stroke happens when blood flow to your brain gets interrupted, either by a blocked artery, that's an ischemic stroke, accounting for 87% of cases, or a burst blood vessel, called a hemorrhagic stroke. The American Heart Association tells us stroke is the 5th leading cause of death in the United States. But here's the game-changing news. Research in the New England Journal of Medicine shows that lifestyle factors control approximately 90% of stroke risk factors. Our first powerful strategy is managing blood pressure through targeted dietary changes. High blood pressure causes about half of all strokes, according to the American Stroke Association, but a landmark study in the Journal of the American Medical Association followed over 400,000 people for more than a decade and found something remarkable. Those following the dietary approaches to stop hypertension reduced their stroke risk by an incredible 29%. The DASH approach is beautifully simple. You're emphasizing foods naturally rich in potassium, magnesium, and calcium while cutting sodium. Think vibrant berries, bananas, leafy greens, whole grains, and lean proteins. The Harvard School of Public Health analyzed 15 studies with nearly 400,000 participants and discovered that people eating the most potassium-rich foods had 21% lower stroke risk than those eating the least. The sodium connection is crucial. The American Heart Association recommends maximum 2,300 milligrams daily, ideally 1,500 milligrams for optimal blood pressure control. That's less than 3/4 of a teaspoon of salt. Yet most Americans consume double this amount, primarily from processed foods. Research in the British Medical Journal proved that reducing sodium by just 1,000 milligrams daily can lower blood pressure by 2 to 8 points, translating to significant stroke protection. This leads perfectly into our second strategy, embracing the Mediterranean eating pattern for comprehensive brain protection. Picture the sun-soaked coastlines of Greece and Italy, where people have eaten a particular way for millennia. The Mediterranean diet isn't just trendy, it's the most extensively studied eating pattern for stroke prevention. The groundbreaking Predimed study in the New England Journal of Medicine followed nearly 7,500 high-risk individuals for 5 years. The results were so powerful they stopped the study early because denying the control group these benefits would have been unethical. People following a Mediterranean diet with extra virgin olive oil had 33% reduced stroke risk, while those adding nuts saw an astounding 46% reduction. What creates this protection? It's the beautiful synergy of multiple components. Extra virgin olive oil provides polyphenols that shield blood vessel walls from inflammation. Omega-3 rich fish like salmon and sardines maintain healthy blood flow and prevent dangerous clots. Research in Stroke Journal found that people eating fish twice weekly had 27% lower stroke risk than rare fish eaters. Don't overlook nuts in this eating pattern. Harvard School of Public Health research shows regular nut consumption significantly lowers cardiovascular disease rates. Walnuts deserve special mention. They're rich in alpha-linolenic acid, a plant-based omega-3. A study in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found people with highest blood levels of this compound had 37% lower stroke risk. The Mediterranean approach naturally limits processed foods, refined sugars, and excessive red meat, all linked to increased stroke risk in studies published in Circulation and the American Journal of Epidemiology. Our third evidence-based strategy might surprise you. Regular physical activity that requires no gym membership. The American Heart Association considers physical inactivity a major stroke risk factor, but here's encouraging news. You don't need marathon-level fitness for significant protection. A comprehensive analysis in Stroke Journal examined 27 studies involving over 300,000 participants. People engaging in moderate activity had 20% lower stroke risk, while high-intensity participants saw a 27% reduction. Most importantly for us regular folks, even light physical activity provided 11% risk reduction compared to being sedentary. What does this look like practically? The World Health Organization recommends 150 minutes of moderate intensity activity weekly, or 75 minutes of vigorous activity, plus muscle strengthening twice weekly. Break this into manageable pieces. A brisk 30-minute walk 5 days weekly meets these guidelines. Gardening, dancing, swimming, or vigorous house cleaning all qualify as moderate intensity activities. Exercise provides protection through multiple mechanisms. It lowers blood pressure, improves cholesterol, maintains healthy weight, and reduces systemic inflammation. Research in the Journal of the American Heart Association found exercise improves endothelial function. That's your blood vessel, inner lining-making vessels more flexible and damage-resistant. The Cooper Institute in Dallas followed over 13,000 men for 8 years and found higher cardiovascular fitness, significantly reduced stroke rates, even accounting for other risk factors. Beautifully, this research showed fitness gains at any age provided protection. It's never too late to start moving more. This connects naturally to our fourth strategy, achieving and maintaining healthy weight through sustainable lifestyle changes. The relationship between weight and stroke is complex, but clear excess weight, especially around the midsection, significantly increases stroke chances. The landmark Nurses' Health Study followed over 116,000 women for 16 years. Published in Stroke Journal, this research found obese women had more than double the stroke risk of normal weight women. But here's the hope. Women who lost weight during the study significantly reduced their stroke risk. The mechanism involves multiple factors. Excess weight often triggers high blood pressure, diabetes, and abnormal cholesterol, all independent stroke risk factors. Visceral fat around organs produces inflammatory substances damaging blood vessels over time. Research in the International Journal of Obesity found higher visceral fat levels correlated with increased blood inflammation markers, creating environments promoting atherosclerosis. Weight loss doesn't require drastic measures. New England Journal of Medicine research found even modest 5 to 10% body weight loss leads to significant improvements in blood pressure, cholesterol, and insulin sensitivity. For a 200-pound person, that's just 10 to 14 pounds. The National Weight Yes Control Registry tracked over 10,000 people who lost at least 30 pounds and maintained it for a year. Their research in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition reveals successful maintainers' common strategies. Regular breakfast, frequent weight monitoring, high physical activity levels, and consistent eating patterns across weekdays and weekends. Our fifth science-backed strategy addresses an often overlooked aspect: managing stress and prioritizing mental health. The connection between chronic stress and stroke is profound yet frequently ignored. Chronic stress doesn't just feel terrible, it creates measurable bodily changes, increasing cardiovascular event risk, including stroke. A groundbreaking study in Stroke Journal followed over 6,700 adults for 22 years, finding those with highest psychological distress had 59% increased stroke risk compared to lowest distress levels. Researchers controlled for smoking, drinking, and physical activity, suggesting stress itself independently increases stroke risk. The biological mechanisms are fascinating and complex. Chronic stress triggers hormones like cortisol and adrenaline, which over time cause high blood pressure, increased inflammation, and blood clotting changes. Psychosomatic medicine research found chronically stressed people had higher blood inflammatory markers, creating conditions promoting atherosclerosis development. But research offers real hope. Stress management techniques provide measurable stroke protection. A study in the American Journal of Hypertension found people practicing transcendental meditation 20 minutes twice daily had significant blood pressure reductions and 48% reduction in heart attack, stroke, and cardiovascular death over 5 years. You don't need meditation mastery for benefits. Research in Mindfulness Journal found even brief mindfulness practices reduce stress hormones and blood pressure. Simple techniques like deep breathing, progressive muscle relaxation, or nature time activate your body's relaxation response, counteracting chronic stress's harmful effects. Social connections also crucially impact stress management and stroke prevention. Stroke Journal research found people with strong social networks had 32% lower stroke risk than socially isolated individuals. This protection comes from both stress-buffering social support effects and the tendency for well-connected people to engage in healthier behaviors. This brings us to our sixth evidence-based strategy: optimizing sleep patterns for brain protection. Sleep isn't just about feeling rested. It's critical time when your brain clears toxins, blood pressure naturally decreases, and your cardiovascular system recovers from daily stresses. Sleep and stroke risk research is both compelling and concerning given widespread sleep struggles. A large neurology study followed over 16,000 adults for 13 years, revealing striking patterns. People sleeping less than 6 hours nightly had 15% increased stroke risk, while those sleeping more than 8 hours had 23% increased risk. The sweet spot was 7 to 8 hours nightly. But quality matters enormously, not just quantity. Sleep Journal research found people with sleep apnea, where breathing repeatedly stops and starts during sleep, had more than double stroke risk compared to those without this disorder. Sleep apnea affects an estimated 22 million Americans, with many cases undiagnosed. The condition causes repeated oxygen drops during sleep, tremendously stressing the cardiovascular system. Even without sleep apnea, poor sleep quality increases stroke risk through multiple mechanisms. During deep sleep, blood pressure naturally decreases 10 to 20%, giving your cardiovascular system recovery time. This is called dipping, and hypertension research found people not experiencing this normal nighttime blood pressure drop had significantly higher cardiovascular disease rates, including stroke. Sleep also affects body-wide inflammation levels. Sleep Journal studies found people getting less than 6 hours nightly had higher inflammatory marker levels, including C-reactive protein and interleukin-6, both associated with increased cardiovascular risk. Improving sleep quality can provide relatively quick benefits. Journal of Clinical Sleep Medicine research found people improving sleep habits showed measurable blood pressure and cardiovascular risk factor improvements within just weeks. Better sleep involves what researchers call sleep hygiene, maintaining consistent sleep schedules, creating cool, dark, quiet sleeping environments, avoiding screens for at least an hour before bedtime, and avoiding late-day caffeine. Journal of Sleep research studies found people following these basic principles had better sleep quality and lower cardiovascular disease rates. Our seventh natural strategy targets one of the most dangerous but preventable risk factors: smoking cessation and avoiding secondhand smoke exposure. If you smoke, quitting is probably the single most powerful action you can take to reduce stroke risk. If you don't smoke, understanding secondhand smoke dangers helps protect you and loved ones. Smoking and stroke statistics are sobering but hopeful. The American Stroke Association states smoking doubles stroke risk. Women who smoke and take birth control pills increase stroke risk up to 22 times. But here's incredibly encouraging news. Within just 2 years of quitting, your stroke risk begins approaching that of never smokers. A comprehensive JAMA study followed over 100,000 women for 20 years, finding former smokers who quit for 20 or more years had stroke rates similar to never smokers. Benefits begin much sooner. Stroke Journal research found people quitting smoking saw risk decline within 2 years, with most dramatic improvements in the first 5 years after quitting. Smoking increases stroke risk through multiple severe mechanisms. Nicotine raises blood pressure and increases blood clot likelihood. Carbon monoxide reduces blood oxygen, forcing hearts to work harder. Thousands of tobacco chemicals damage blood vessel linings, making them more susceptible to atherosclerosis. Circulation research found smoking accelerates blood clot formation and makes existing clots more dangerous. Even non-smokers face significant risk from secondhand smoke exposure. American Journal of Epidemiology research found people exposed to secondhand smoke at home had 30% increased stroke risk, while workplace exposure created 22% increased risk. The Environmental Protection Agency estimates secondhand smoke causes approximately 8,000 annual stroke deaths in the United States. For those trying to quit, research offers effective strategy guidance. A Cochrane database systematic review found combining nicotine replacement therapy with behavioral counseling was more effective than either approach alone. The study also found medications like varenicline and bupropion significantly improved quit rates when combined with counseling. Multiple attempts are often necessary, and each attempt increases eventual success chances. British Medical Journal research found smokers who previously failed still had 3 to 5% success rates in any given quit attempt, with rates increasing using proven cessation aids. This leads to our 8th evidence-based strategy, moderating alcohol consumption for optimal brain health. The alcohol-stroke relationship is complex, with research showing amount and drinking patterns matter enormously. Understanding this relationship helps you make informed decisions supporting long-term brain health. Alcohol and stroke research reveals what scientists call a J-shaped curve. People drinking no alcohol have certain stroke risk levels. Light to moderate drinkers may have slightly lower risk, but heavy drinkers have dramatically increased risk. A large stroke journal meta-analysis examined 35 studies involving over 1.6 million participants, finding light drinking associated with 10% stroke risk reduction, while heavy drinking increased risk by 64%. Before reaching for that drink, understand what constitutes light or moderate drinking according to research. The American Heart Association defines moderate drinking as maximum 1 daily drink for women, 2 for men. 1 drink equals 12 ounces beer, 5 ounces wine, or 1.5 ounces 80 proof liquor. Light drinking's potential protective effects may come from alcohol's ability to increase HDL good cholesterol and reduce blood clot formation. New England Journal of Medicine research found moderate alcohol consumption associated with higher HDL cholesterol and lower fibrinogen levels, a protein involved in blood clotting. However, research reveals significant heavier drinking dangers. A Lancet study followed over 500,000 people, finding consuming more than 100 grams weekly, about 7 drinks, associated with shorter life expectancy and increased stroke, heart disease, and other serious condition rates. People consuming more than 350 grams weekly, equivalent to about 25 drinks, had stroke rates 35% higher than light drinkers. Binge drinking is particularly dangerous for stroke risk. Stroke Journal research found binge drinking, 4 or more drinks for women or 5 or more for men in about 2 hours, significantly increased both ischemic and hemorrhagic stroke risk. Even people not drinking excessively overall, but occasionally binge drinking, had elevated stroke risk. Drinking patterns matter as much as total amounts. BMJ research found people consuming weekly alcohol intake over fewer days had higher cardiovascular disease rates compared to those spreading the same amount over more days. This suggests regular, moderate consumption may be less harmful than irregular heavy consumption. For many people, avoiding alcohol entirely may be safest, especially since potential benefits can be achieved through other means like regular exercise and healthy diet. If you choose to drink, research strongly supports staying within moderate drinking guidelines and avoiding binge drinking patterns. Our 9th science-backed strategy addresses an often overlooked but crucial aspect: managing diabetes and blood sugar levels naturally. Diabetes is among the most significant stroke risk factors, with diabetics having 2 to 4 times stroke risk compared to non-diabetics. Encouraging news is that type 2 diabetes and prediabetes can often be prevented or effectively managed through natural lifestyle approaches. The diabetes-stroke connection involves multiple pathways. High blood sugar levels over time damage blood vessels throughout the body, including brain-supplying vessels. This process, called diabetic vasculopathy, makes blood vessels more susceptible to blockages and ruptures. Diabetes care research found people with poorly controlled diabetes had stroke rates more than 3 times higher than those with well-controlled diabetes. Even pre-diabetes blood sugar levels higher than normal, but not yet diabetic, significantly increases stroke risk. Stroke Journal research found pre-diabetics had 20% increased stroke risk compared to normal blood sugar levels. This is particularly concerning because an estimated 88 million American adults have prediabetes, with most unaware they have it. Natural blood sugar management approaches can be remarkably effective. The landmark Diabetes Prevention Program in the New England Journal of Medicine followed over 3,000 pre-diabetics for 3 years, finding lifestyle changes including healthy diet and regular physical activity reduced type 2 diabetes risk by 58%. In people over 60, risk reduction was even more dramatic at 71%. What specific dietary changes most effectively manage blood sugar? American Journal of Clinical Nutrition Research found diets rich in whole grains, legumes, fruits, and vegetables associated with better blood sugar control and lower type 2 diabetes rates. Fiber in these foods helps slow sugar absorption into the bloodstream, preventing glucose spikes that can damage blood vessels over time. Portion control and meal timing also play important roles. Diabetologia research found people eating larger breakfasts and smaller dinners had better daily blood sugar control compared to larger evening meal eaters. Research suggests our bodies naturally process glucose more effectively earlier in the day. Regular physical activity is perhaps the most powerful natural blood sugar management tool. Exercise helps muscles use glucose more effectively, reducing circulating blood sugar amounts. Diabetes care research found type 2 diabetics engaging in regular aerobic exercise and strength training had significantly better blood sugar control and lower cardiovascular complication rates, including stroke. Exercise timing can also be important. Diabetologia research found short post-meal walks particularly effective at reducing post-meal blood sugar spikes. Even 15-minute post-eating walks can significantly impact blood glucose levels. Weight management connects closely to blood sugar control. The same diabetes prevention program found people losing just 5 to 7% body weight through diet and exercise had dramatic blood sugar level and insulin sensitivity improvements. Sleep quality also affects blood sugar regulation. Annals of Internal Medicine research found inadequate sleep led to poorer blood sugar control and higher insulin resistance rates. Our 10th and final evidence-based strategy brings everything together, creating consistent, sustainable habits supporting long-term brain health. Research clearly shows the most powerful stroke prevention comes not from any single intervention, but from synergistic effects of multiple healthy lifestyle choices maintained over time. A groundbreaking New England Journal of Medicine study followed over 120,000 people for 30 years, identifying 5 key lifestyle factors associated with dramatically reduced chronic disease risk, including stroke. These factors were maintaining healthy weight, exercising regularly, eating high-quality diet, drinking alcohol moderately or not at all, and not smoking. People maintaining all 5 factors had 82% lower cardiovascular death risk compared to those maintaining none. Most importantly, the study found it's never too late to start. People adopting healthy lifestyle factors later in life still experience significant stroke and chronic disease risk reductions. This should give tremendous hope to everyone. The key to lasting changes lies in understanding habit formation psychology. European Journal of Social Psychology research found new behaviors take an average of 66 days to become automatic, though this ranges from 18 to 254 days, depending on the person and behavior complexity. The most successful approach starts small and builds gradually. Rather than overnight lifestyle overhauls, pick 1 or 2 resonating strategies and focus on those first. Once those become habitual, gradually add additional changes. Environmental design plays crucial roles in supporting healthy habits. Annual review of public health research found people much more likely to maintain healthy behaviors when environments support those behaviors. This might mean keeping healthy snacks visible and accessible while storing less healthy options out of sight, or laying out exercise clothes the night before to make morning workouts more likely. Social support is another crucial factor in maintaining long-term lifestyle changes. Journal of Consulting and Clinical Psychology research found people with family and friend support significantly more likely to maintain healthy lifestyle changes over time. This might involve finding walking partners, joining cooking classes to learn healthy meal preparation, or simply sharing health goals with supportive friends and family. Regular monitoring and self-assessment help maintain motivation and track progress. Journal of Medical Internet Research studies found people regularly monitoring progress toward health goals more likely to maintain positive changes over time. This doesn't need complexity. It might be keeping food diaries, tracking daily steps, or noting how you feel after implementing different strategies. Expect setbacks and plan for them. Health psychology research found people viewing setbacks as temporary, normal parts of the change process, more likely to get back on track quickly and maintain long-term progress. Focus on progress, not perfection. As we conclude our journey through these 10 evidence-based strategies for natural stroke prevention, remember that every positive change you make matters. Research consistently shows even small improvements in diet, physical activity, sleep, stress management, and other lifestyle factors provide meaningful stroke protection. These natural approaches don't just reduce stroke risk, they improve overall quality of life. The same strategies protecting your brain also boost energy, improve mood, strengthen immune systems, and help you feel more vibrant and alive. You now have knowledge and tools to take control of your stroke risk through natural, evidence-based approaches. The research is clear, strategies are proven, and the power to protect your brain health is in your hands. Start where you are, use what resonates with you, and remember every step toward better health is a step toward a stronger, more resilient future. Your brain has served you well throughout life, processing countless thoughts, memories, and experiences. Now, it's time to serve your brain by giving it the protection and care it deserves. The science is on your side, and your future self will thank you for the choices you make today.